I think it's unironically fair to say at this point that Gavin McKenna's existence might have just saved the Toronto Maple Leafs. Hear me out. So obviously, one of the biggest conversations over the past few weeks has been Auston Matthews, Toronto Maple Leafs captain, and a guy whose season was ended prematurely due to a knee-on-knee hit by Radko Gudas. And a hit that didn't really get any Maple Leafs standing up for their captain. Yeah, over the next few weeks we saw the narratives. Oh, the Toronto Maple Leafs are soft. Oh, we saw Morgan Rielly trying to defend the honor of the players and starting fights with guys in the next few games. And okay, Radko Gudas answered the bell in the next Anaheim-Toronto game. But at the end of the day, the Maple Leafs not standing up for Auston Matthews, whether it's because they respect him or not, or because they didn't really think it was worth it, sparked a lot of conversation. This guy just wrapped up a pretty good stint at the Olympics where he was over a point per game and he won the gold medal. He was an integral part of that team. He was the captain of that team. Then he comes back to Toronto where the team's losing. They lose literally every single game with Matthews in the lineup, except for that Anaheim game where Matthews didn't even finish it because he got wiped out by Radko Gudas. He goes from experiencing the joy with his American brethren to going back to a losing franchise that's just so much worse ever since Marner left. And now they end up kicking out Brad Treliving. They bring in John Chayka, a hire that everybody seems to disagree with. And then the rumors get worse. Oh, Chris Johnston says that Auston Matthews could be on his way out. You have all these rumors coming out that say, oh, Matthews wants to go play with the other guys on Team USA. Maybe he can go over to Minnesota. He can hang out with Quinn Hughes. He can play hockey with Quinn Hughes. Maybe he goes to Florida. He, I don't know, plays with the Canucks, whatever. Auston Matthews and his future with the Toronto Maple Leafs was up in the air. Even though John Chayka said he doesn't know what Chris Johnston's talking about. But once the Toronto Maple Leafs won that first overall pick, and once they got that guarantee that they'd be taking a superstar ceiling winger in the first overall spot, it seems like everything has changed for the better in Toronto. And I understand. Fans like me, I'm a Canucks fan. I'm a fan of another Canadian team. I'm jealous as hell. What do you mean the Toronto Maple Leafs lost out in 2016? They won the draft lottery to draft Auston Matthews. They then made the playoffs so many future years, 17, 18, 19, 20. Just kidding, they weren't in the 2020 playoffs because they lost in the play-in round. But 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, the Maple Leafs made the playoffs every single gosh darn year. And the one year that they miss, that's when they go out there and they win the first overall pick? Are you kidding me? With that said, we have some commentary from David Pagnotta, who says that he spoke to both Gavin McKenna and Auston Matthews' camp. McKenna's camp is excited and jacked about the opportunity to play in Toronto, and Matthews' side is excited too. Oh, brother. Auston Matthews, the guy that was going to leave, he might actually have the opportunity to stick around for an encore. His contract expires in 2028, but guess what? 2028 isn't this upcoming season. He's got 2 years left at $13.25 million. If there was a season to go out there and try to save face and keep Auston Matthews in the franchise for as long as you can, this upcoming season with Gavin McKenna at the helm is going to be that season. Screw all the talk that Frank Saravalli was going out there and proposing about the Toronto Maple Leafs going out there and drafting Stenberg first overall instead. I understand that when you speak about it from a hockey playing perspective, Stenberg might have more projectable NHL qualities than McKenna. Stenberg might be a better defensive player than McKenna. Stenberg, while it is true, he has a pretty good offensive ceiling, but it may not necessarily boil down to that. It might not boil down to how good of a player is he holistically. It straight up might just boil down to how many gosh darn points can the guy score. What's the absolute peak output of his skill and his offensive ceiling? Gavin McKenna is a guy who has higher levels of output than Ivar Stenberg when you talk about purely just point production. I'm not talking about whether or not you can win with a Gavin McKenna. Oh no. I'd say that Ivar Stenberg, he's a guy that has more of those championship-like qualities. But Gavin McKenna, he's been touted as that Kucherov-esque winger for a reason, right? Now, here's the thing, of course. Nikita Kucherov had won multiple championships, but then again, he was playing on pretty stacked Tampa Bay Lightning teams while scoring 140 gosh darn points a year. If anybody can be Nikita Kucherov, obviously you'd want that guy on your team, no matter how bad he is defensively. Ivar Stenberg, you're getting more of a Marner/Raymond kind of guy, but if you want somebody that can just absolutely light up the lamp with points, Gavin McKenna might be your guy. And it's not like McKenna isn't a goal scorer either. I mean, he had 41 goals in 56 games with Medicine Hat last year and 15 in 35 NCAA games this year. Auston Matthews and Gavin McKenna working together to create some offense might be some pretty good magic that entices Matthews to stay if everything goes right in that first year. Let's go out there and read the comments on the R-Leaf subreddit. Just take a look at what they have to say here. Who wouldn't be excited? I also like that Matthews is holding the front office accountable, even if it might be scary. They quite literally did nothing last year. If I were in the prime of my career, I'd want answers too. Lounge Chair Larry says, when does Matthews get held accountable? Too many passengers and doesn't put himself in there. He said he is not committing to anything future-wise until he sees what the team does. They either get a competent coach and build an NHL-level roster around him and he stays, or he goes. Matthews also needs to perform and stay healthy. He needs to keep up his end of the bargain as well. And then you have this reply that was getting some traction as well. Connor McDavid scored 138 points and his team got bounced in the first round. And even though they made 2 consecutive Stanley Cup Finals, you can't deny the path to the Stanley Cup Finals is way easier from the Pacific than the Atlantic. It doesn't really matter how responsible and amazing one single player is at the end of the day. It's clearly a team sport, and if the team isn't constructed well, coached well, and lucky, then that team ain't winning anything. Matthews isn't the problem. So, despite the fact that Auston Matthews has gone through a little bit of a downward turn the past few years, yes, he had the near 70-goal season a few seasons ago, but last year wasn't particularly great, and this year was even worse. The Toronto Maple Leafs going down and not doing as well either definitely makes it saltier. So the fact that they could go out there and win this first overall pick, grab Gavin McKenna, take it, run, and have a McKenna replacing the Mitch Marner role on that line for the next few years, that is an absolute gift. The hockey gods have signed, sealed, and delivered it to Toronto. And all I'm asking is here, I hope the Maple Leafs don't mess it up. Okay, I say that half-heartedly. Please take Ivar Stenberg number 1. Oh my goodness, take him 1. Let San Jose take Chase Reed, and then let McKenna go to Vancouver at number 3. That's my ending piece for this video. Thoughts in the comments section, how Gavin McKenna saved the Maple Leafs and Auston Matthews. Let me know how you feel about this entire narrative and how you feel about Matthews expressing interest in playing with Gavin McKenna. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.